So today I got a topic about conversation. Simply conversation means to do conversation with our, as we do conversation with our family, with our friends, with our classmates. And conversation in English simply means to do conversation in English with others. Conversation is very important in our life. We just share, we just express our thoughts, our ideas, our experience to other members, to other people. Conversation help us. English conversation helps us in the business, in the studies, in many things. And if I talk about some main steps, how can we improve our English language? We just have to. So the main first step will be speaking. Speaking is very important. Without speaking, we cannot improve our language, because as much as we speak, our English language will be good. Some people are those who know the rules, who know the grammar rules, but they are not able to speak because they don't do the practice. So practice is very important. And as we just do the conversation, we just have to do conversation with our with our friends, with our family members, with our teachers. So our English our conversation will be improved. And the second will be listening. Listening is also important. We cannot just repeat limited words. We just have to improve our vocab. We just have to learn new words. So listening is very important. We just have to, okay, it's not important to just to listen to 2 or 4 hours to one video. We can just listen for 30 minutes. So some words we may get, we know the meaning of those very words, so we can just use those very words in our daily conversation. It also improves the pronunciation. A single word can just a wrong pronunciation can just change a full word. Pronunciation is very important. In the interviews, in our school, pronunciation is very important. By listening, we can just improve our pronunciation. By reading, by writing something, we can just improve our pronunciation. And writing is also very important. Through writing, we can just express more ideas, more thoughts. And it's very important. Some students, if I talk about why students feel shy, because they have limited vocabulary, they are not able to pronounce correctly. Some people, as I mentioned before, some people are, they know the grammar rules, but they do not do the practice. They may think that, sometimes students think that if I did any type of mistake, they will laugh at me. If I talk about myself, I was also thinking about it. But after doing the English, after getting a language, but now I'm not feeling that much afraid. Because learning is a part of life. So we should learn, and we should, we can just commit the mistake, but after that we should just solve that very mistake. And by conversation, we can just improve our improve the confidence. It builds our confidence, and we can talk to others without any shyness, without we cannot get afraid. It improves our confidence. It also improves the developing skill. It develops our skills very much, speaking skills very much. We can just talk to our teachers in the school. If we can give presentations in the school, we can give topics in the prayers, so we can aware the people about anything, so they will listen to us very carefully. And the expressions, and the pronunciation is important. It also builds the expressions. Expressions very important. We cannot just be sad or just be, yes, we just have to change our expressions, like due to words. Our words are, we just have to change our expressions. And as I mentioned before, it builds the confidence. And communication is very important for us, especially the English communication. As we know that English language is an international language through the world. In many different parts of the world, English has been spoken. Even as we know, in Kashmir, a lot of tourists came from foreign countries, like from England, like that. At that very time, if we are guiding them, if we want to go that very sector, at that very time, we just have to speak in English language with them, so they can understand us better. And before coming here, I was not able to speak. If I talk about my personal experience, I didn't know anything about. I was not able to write about myself. I just first today I just wrote, I think, some lines on myself, what I am. And now I am able to write 3 to 4 pages, sometimes 6 pages, if I just want to. As much as we can express, we can just get those very things. So there are also some students here, they don't know the difference between, how can where we have to use I, me, mine, myself. I was not before. I was also thinking that they are saying what is I, me, mine, but now I am able to. And the main thing is to practice and understanding each and everything, and to remain constant.